let me go to you just as a former police officer. Hearing one of the common threads among so many officers is they get into the business because they want to help people. And when you see and read about the details, the horrendous murders of these two officers over the weekend, but then you see, because of this rift truly between City Hall and the mayor and the police union, these officers turning their backs really in this act of disrespect, not just toward the mayor, but Bratton was with them as well. What did you make of that, A? And B, what do you think the message needs to be to the city?
Well, look, there were similar rifts. I was a City of Atlanta police officer. It was often felt that the city, hung you out to dry when something went wrong, really didn't support you. Look, there are some issues here that have been discussed in a helpful dialogue, whether it's about police militarization or about police brutality. But don't give this killer any credence. Don't give this killer and this act of cowardly violence to be a part of that larger dialogue. This was an act of senseless, cowardly violence. This did not promote anything. And I really don't think we need to put this in the larger context to believe that this is somehow in this larger picture. There are helpful conversations we can have, but whether you single somebody out because they're black or they're white or they wear blue, if you believe in justice, if you believe in peace and protest, you have to find these things repugnant. And absolutely, police officers are going to react to this. They do feel in many cases the administration, their leadership, leave them, hang out to dry. I wasn't surprised by the police officers in New York City turning their back on the mayor. But again, I wouldn't give this, sometimes I'm hearing this as almost part of an expressive act, this cowardly violence, this killer, as being part of this larger conversation. And I don't think we should give him any credit for being part of this larger conversation. He's a killer and he was a coward.
Agreed, and entirely repugnant. Perfect way to describe the act. Do you think, though, I know you're not here in New York on the force actively, but having been a police officer in Atlanta and say this had happened where you were, how would you see this as an isolated incident? Some deranged person who came up from Baltimore, and at the end of the day, police officers have to live with the fear of dying in the line of duty each and every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I don't mean to say that his actions aren't somehow in his warped mind related to the recent events. Obviously, there's some causation there, but I just don't want to give him any credit as being somehow expressive protest. But, as a police officer, I did lose two close friends to violence, to senseless violence, to being shot. And again, what this is somebody who's deranged, who feels somehow that this needs to be done or that this is justified in some way. They take two of ours, we take one of theirs, or the other way around. Again, this is a killer. And this is somebody who singled people out because of the job they have. I do believe that these police officers wanted to help people. I think that's what they were doing, and down where they were working, they were trying to help people. This is senseless violence, and we can't see it as any type of expressive protest. It is repugnant.
Marc Levine and Marc Harrold, thank you both very much. Again, watching and waiting to hear from the mayor and from the police commissioner in a matter of minutes. Next.